Retweet the Periscope. I'm live on Periscope D Live, Facebook. That's good news. YouTube. I'm sure I'm live now. Nice. I am live on TalkStream Live. TalkStream Live is an app on which you can find various radio hosts, including Jesse Lee Peterson and yours truly. Sure. And also JLP Live, the JLP Live player. It is available if you go to thehakereport.com/show. The audio player, JLP Live audio player is on there. If you go to Jesse Lee, I think there's an app that you can download. There is, I do know that. And anyway, I'm going to be talking about the election stuff. The lines are already full. So, but you can call in. Those of you who already have called in, 888-775-3773. I will get pretty much right to you guys. Talk about the election. Mike Pence. Is Mike Pence a traitor? There is some, seemingly, perhaps, some strife going on right now. Conflict, we'll call it. Conflict. Because men of God don't do strife, right? We don't engage in strife. But one person was killed. One woman was killed. An Air Force veteran, Ashley Babbitt. A-S-H-L-I. Babbitt. B-A-B-B-I-T-T. A little bit of a different spelling of Ashley. But rest in peace to that young woman. Revolver News calls her murdered, which I don't know that that's a murder. But anyway, you guys can call in. Biden is a phony. I will be playing a little Politico video, a 3-minute video of just a little summary of what went down. And it was a nice little edit put together. So I'll play that for you pretty early on here. Anyway, let's get on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how are you all doing? I am fine. I'm wearing my beautiful Confederate flag t-shirt. It's a Confederate, it's kind of like a spin-off from the Confederate battle flag, which is a square, I think. You guys know better than I do. But it represents the South, which is beautiful. It treats, by the way, the South treats blacks better than anywhere else in the country because the South is more honest. They're more straightforward, more Christian, more down to earth, and just better overall. And that's why they're under attack. Falsely smeared. Falsely called traitors and treasonous and all that mess. Racist in theory, but not in practice, says Nick. And that's an expression that he's heard of the South. Yeah, the North and the cities are just completely degenerate. And they've gone off the deep end. What a shame. What an absolute shame. Is Pence a snake? Ray Powers says, Pence is a snake. I don't know, man. I don't know. I heard that President Trump is not happy with Pence's chief of staff. But it's hard to know what the truth is because we're not right there amongst the people, right? Let me, actually, before I get going with these calls, let me just play for you a clip. It has President Trump talking from his beautiful speech yesterday, of which I played a little bit, which was the January 6th thing. No video, only audio, huh? Okay.
The clips you gave me are just audio.
Oh. No. There is those are not clips. Those are actually bumper things that I want to do. Let me see if, let me see if I can give it to you.
Okay.
And in that case, I'll get to Rick in Hampton, Virginia. He's been on hold. No, nothing, Nick. I'm gonna give it to Joel Friday here. I think I didn't put something in the folder that I thought that I had, but I didn't. But yeah, I have one of actually the Calibretto Bring It On. I'd like to play at the break.
Okay.
I'd like to play the. Oh, and if you can get the Alex Jones, I'm a Human. I don't know if you can find it, but it's a beautiful song by Place Boing. Place Boing. Let me get to Rick in Hampton, Virginia, and Joel, that clip that I just dragged in, it is an actual clip, video clip, and it might be kind of loud. I haven't even checked the volume. It's probably quite loud, just so you know. Rick in Hampton, how are you doing?
My brother James and the crew, man. How you doing, man? Love you, brother.
Doing well. Appreciate you. How are you?
I'm good, man, but I'm sort of, a little down, man, because I think, man, President Trump got to mess around and just concede, man.
You think that President Trump is going to leave?
No, concede. Well, concede the election?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
What do you
might.
think?
Yeah, he might. He did say that he's going to do a peaceful transition, even though he's going to still fight, to make America great again. And he's pledged to fight until every last vote was counted. So he may have to do that as a private citizen. Who knows?
And
I don't know.
The thing about it is, it's like, even that means, we don't have a resolve. They can still use the same tactic to steal every election, man.
Yep.
It's like the Republican Party might as well be over with. And I'm tired. Yesterday on social media, all you can hear are blacks talking about where's the control at? And then I brought it to their attention. I said, okay, that wasn't planned. I didn't expect that. That was wrong.
You're talking about the riot?
Yes, at the Capitol. That was wrong. But at the same time, being Black Lives Matter and Antifa, they tore Seattle, Washington up, Portland, Oregon, Milwaukee, and Atlanta up.
Even Washington D.C. itself back in June. Remember, they burned part of the St. John's Church, church, right across the street from the White House.
Yep.
Yeah, these people are the sleazy scum of the earth.
Saying.
Yeah.
And they would say, when you're bringing that up, they would say like, oh, you deflecting. No, I'm not.
Right.
I'm looking at it with a godly lens. Y'all up here trying to, hang them on a cross, and y'all did the same thing with more city.
Yeah, very true.
That same thing. No one called it out. You didn't hardly hear Primetime Cuomo recording everything. You didn't hardly hear from him. You didn't hear many people on social media writing down stuff, talking about what's wrong with people. You didn't hear none of that. You probably have maybe a few people, but not like it was yesterday.
Right. Yeah. They were out of their minds over this relatively minor incident compared to those crazy riots.
Exactly.
Yep.
And no one called, and the police sat there. They didn't do nothing. They might as well get them a chair and get some popcorn.
No, those cops, I think that they were overwhelmed. They didn't know what to do. And I heard that I was listening to Elijah Schaefer, who's an independent journalist with Blaze TV right now. And he's kind of you could consider him a bit of a softie. He's like an emotional guy and tries to be fair, but I think he really is being honest when he talks about how some of these guys were really angry. And as President Trump said, it's understandable, but they've turned a corner where he thinks that most conservatives do not support police anymore. And they are actually anti-police now. But I don't know if it's that far, but there's a lot of people. They were actually like hitting cops, and one guy either he was shot or his tooth got knocked out, and it sounded like he said that the tooth went through his cheek. But I don't know. But some crazy bloodshed did happen yesterday. He was at the front where there was stuff going on, and he said that there was blood on the steps of the Capitol, I think, if I was understanding him correctly. So it was pretty crazy. It was pretty violent. People did get injuries. It was more than just broken windows. But forget you felt good.
Wow.
But I'm looking at the chat.
Bad. I was upset about that because President Trump, he couldn't get a chance to get his evidence out because of the chaos.
Well, he, honestly, if the Republicans were really for what's right, they wouldn't have changed from what these people were for to going against them, because if he were really for if these Ron Johnson and all them, I don't know about Ron Johnson, but it sounds like he changed from what he was planning to do, which was to contest the election, to going along with the election, but then still putting out lip service about it, about our frustrations, which doesn't seem like he's being an effective representative or senator. Well, he's a senator. He's not being an effective representation of the state's issues, concerns, the country. So,
and I heard even Kelly Loeffler even changed her mind.
Yeah, she did. A lot of them did. There was a whole list that I was seeing in on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. There's a whole list put together by Jesse's producer, Nick, that Loeffler changed her mind. A bunch of them, like several, maybe 10 or there were 13 who were going to contest it, right? 13 senators. And more than several, like even like 7 or 8 or 9, did not end up going along with that contest. Yeah, ridiculous. And President Trump's what do you want to call them? President Trump's people in the White House, 4 of them resigned. 4 of them, at least that I know of, resigned, including Grisham, Stephanie Grisham, the first lady's like chief of staff or something like that. These people are they're not loyal or faithful. They're trying to give credence to the idea that Trump incited this violence by voicing what a lot of people are saying about what happened with this election, if I can word it that way.
It was definitely voter fraud. I mean, it was
You can't say that
because of the voter fraud.
I disavow.
And in Black Lives Matter, well, when they did, they had a purpose. Well, they had a purpose too then in D.C.
Right.
They did it for voter fraud and whatever Black Lives Matter and people done for them.
Right.
I had Christians come talking about me. Hey, you trying to deflect from the issue? I said, I ain't deflecting from anything.
No, I know.
Well, they
you know what?
At the Capitol building. Well, go ahead, James.
You know what? These people. Nick is begging you, Rick, to stop saying voter blank. But
okay. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry.
According to Breitbart News,
voter blank. Yeah.
Voter shenanigans. According to Breitbart News, Senators Ron Johnson, Lankford, Daines, Blackburn, Marsha Blackburn, Braun, Haggerty, and Loeffler, all of whom had pledged to join the election challenge, abandoned their pledge and voted not to sustain the objection to the election results. So they didn't stand by their word, and that's dumb. It doesn't even make any sense. It's just cowardice.
I guess everybody got scared once it got out of control.
In fact, that's cowering to the mob, because the real mob is not those few tiny minority of Trump supporters or whoever they were who stormed the building, but it's the real mob is the mainstream media, the Democrat Party, the rhinos, of which those are rhinos, many of them, and that's the mob, the social media companies that shut you down for disputing the official narrative, meaning the mainstream narrative, mainstream media narrative. So that's the real mob that they're cowering to. They're not cowering. They're not standing against the mob by changing their mind. They're cowering to the mob by changing their mind. Anyway.
Well, you know what, James? I think let most of these black people and these liberals, let them feel the pain of socialism, and I truly believe God will protect those that truly love Him. And let them experience the socialism, and see how they feel. And when their taxes go out the roof, they're gonna put their hands in their face and start screaming and talk about that they paying way more taxes, and this is what they voted for.
Right.
And quick education note. Now, I noticed too when I listen to my YouTube news. I know Nick was saying don't use the VF word.
Right.
So is that law now?
Well, it's not the specific word. It's just saying that there was that and that the elections are not valid. If you say that, then they have threatened They have said in a blog post that they're not going to allow that on their platform. I haven't heard of a lot of cases, if any, of it actually happening, but they're going to clamp down. They're going to use this to clamp down. They already did. They clamped down on the president over it, pretending that he incited the riots. The incitement is from the mainstream media giving credence to the Black Lives Matter lies, and the Democrats and these social media companies themselves gave credence and incited riots. Those people did. Twitter did. Anyway.
And that primetime, Chris Cole primetime, too. God.
Yeah.
I tell you, I personally think he hates the president, man. I mean, I don't think I think it's really personal. And the president ain't never had no dealings with this guy.
Right. You know, I have a screenshot of it says impeach and convict President Trump right now. And this is by this so-called conservative, who was taken to the New York Times. He started writing for the New York Times. He used to write for Wall Street Journal, which is a Rhino outlet. And this guy, Brett Stevens, is an opinion columnist, says Trump is too dangerous to leave in office for even another minute. And this is from the failing New York Slimes, and it came out on January 6th, 2021. And by the way, speaking of the clampdown on whites and truth tellers in general, I'm hearing that Jesse Lee Peterson has a 12-hour suspension on Twitter right now. So,
wow, are you serious?
Yeah. And
I know. I just go ahead, James.
This has been happening for years, and it's accelerating. Those accelerationists are accelerating it.
You disagree
and it's
with
not
liberals,
for what's right.
they're going to take you off, man. 'Cause I'm telling you, I would just be simply just saying, hey, wait a minute, y'all got a magnifying glass on the supporters of Trump.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't say nothing at all when they tore cities up all spring and summer long. Nobody said nothing.
Yep.
No Cuomo prime time covering it. Nothing. But police sitting up there, and the rioters was chasing the police officers.
Yeah.
And you hear blacks talking about if it was us, they had been shooting at us.
Give me a break.
Because when y'all, when
you would
y'all
have gotten
come
further.
They let y'all have fun.
Yep.
They didn't do nothing to you guys either.
Yeah.
And it kills me, man. The liberal media, man. I'm telling these pastors. I don't even call them pastors, James. They
they're frauds.
Warnock, that guy Warnock. He told me he's a pastor of Martin Luther King Church. But everything God loves, he hates, and everything God hates, he loves.
Right.
I don't see that. Maybe him and God need to have a talk, man. They get one accord.
And he's now a senator-elect, supposedly, Raphael Warnock.
Yeah.
In Georgia.
I guess what
a shame.
They use the same Dominion machine to get them to win because it happened the same exact thing with President Trump. The Republican candidate was leading. Then now all of a sudden you take a nap and wake back up in their head.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. There's enough brainwashed people. Who knows? Anyway, Rick, I got to run. Nice talking with you.
Nice talking to y'all. Love you guys. Keep up the good work, James.
Thank you. Take care.
And Joel.
Keep your chin up. Keep your head up. Let me get to Jack in Connecticut, and then I'll play that little video montage of what went down according to Politico yesterday. Jack in Connecticut, how are you doing?
Hey, James, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Doing fine, too. Thank you.
So, I was there yesterday.
All right.
And I'd like to talk about that.
Were you outside, or did you go inside the Capitol or whatever?
James, if I went inside, I would never tell you.
Okay. That makes sense.
So when I can also dispel some stuff, did Antifa attempt to infiltrate us? I would say they absolutely intended to do that, and they probably did. But this was Trump supporters. This was conservatives. This was patriots. This was people who, if you look into them, you're going to see they write about MAGA on the internet.
Let me ask,
yes.
Just to interrupt briefly to get this point in, because I don't know the answer to it. If you go into the building, is that against the rules to go into the building? Never mind about we know breaking the windows was against the law, right? It's destruction of property, or
Well,
assaulting
and
the
I can answer
officers is bad. But going into the building itself, was that wrong? Is that you're not supposed to
That
do
is
that?
the
Was it
people's
walled
house.
off?
That is
It
the
is.
people's house.
But was it?
And-
But was there like a special protection because of the protests that they weren't supposed to?
Absolutely. There was scaffolding. There was barricades. There were police officers. They had paintball guns. They had tear gas. They had pepper spray.
Yeah.
They had batons. They had
So it was known.
those shields.
So
set
it was
up.
known. It was established that it was quite clear you guys weren't not supposed to go in there, or not you guys,
It
but
was
those
quite
people.
clear that the officers had no intention of putting up a fight. They just kind of like put up a little bit of a visual struggle. As I saw people moving forwards, it felt like cops were kind of like putting up a little visual struggle for the camera, but ultimately they were letting people advance. Like I saw a police officer
Okay.
pepper spray a guy, let go of the barricade, everyone rushed through the barricade, police officer just walks to the side, and then the guy that he pepper sprayed went up to him and said, "Hey man, do you have any water?" And the police officer said, "Yeah, here you go," and then they fist bumped each other.
Yeah, interesting.
It was so. Listen, I firmly believe the police are on our side. They had to do their job, but I think ultimately they knew that they had any real threats under control. And I think the whole deal was if anybody tries to get to where the Congress people actually were, they're going to get shot. And that's what happened to that poor woman who was shot. Like she crossed the real line. As far as what else happened, I believe the police had every intention of letting us do this. Police were putting on MAGA hats. If you wanted to leave the building after you got in, the police would just be like, "Yeah, could you use that door, please?"
Okay.
In general, like the struggle seemed like it was more of a show for the cameras.
Yeah.
Now, I'd like to make a couple of very quick points. I want to respect your time. When, outrage, Jesse says to, stand. I want to amend what Jesse said. Stand. Strike the right people at exactly the right time.
And what do you mean by that?
There are reasons to be angry. You can't let anger control your life, but there are instances where there's something that you should be angry about. And you're either right or you're wrong in what you're outraged about, and then you're either directing your outrage at the right or the wrong people. And I would say if you think that the police killed a black man, an unarmed black man, unjustifiably, and then you burn down every black business for a couple of blocks, I would say you're wrong with what you're angry about.
What if it
and
was white businesses?
what you're still wrong with how you're doing it. Here's the deal. Let's say that
I hate it when they say,
officer-
"Oh, they're burning down minority businesses." Would it be right
Some
if
of the
they were?
white businesses were burnt down
Yeah.
too. I
Yeah.
mentioned the black
What the
businesses
heck?
because I feel like that makes my point more clear to the left.
I know, but I hate that. Anyway,
but
go
not
on.
that you can make an a point to them.
So you think
But anyway,
anger
listen,
is good then?
No, I don't think you should let anger control you. I think that there are moments where anger is the option. And I would say if a police officer really murdered an unarmed black man in cold blood, I would say do what Trump supporters did on the Capitol yesterday. Do that at the local police station and leave
that's what they
every
did.
business alone. No, because they also destroyed businesses. They attacked random
I wouldn't even say
people.
do that though, because there's still a way to get. There's a better way to get justice.
Well, I would
And that's
say
not a way to
I
get
would
justice.
Say wait for I would say wait for justice. Let the process play out.
Yeah.
And then if and that's what we did. What they're describing Trump supporters
It's
as
not
right
exactly
now
what
is
they did, though.
Exactly how they described us for the past 4 years.
It's not exactly what they did though, because they interrupted the process.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Even though we know that Mike Pence didn't do what President Trump wanted him to do, maybe that was at the point where some of those guys went in, right? I don't know. Maybe at that point it was time in their minds, but no, I don't think that there is a. I agree with Jesse Lee Peterson that there's never a reason to be angry.
But we held back our anger for the past 4 years. They described us this way for the past 4 years. This is what they've called us.
But that's the
Terrorists.
point. That's the point that Jesse Lee Peterson is making. That you're not supposed to hold back your anger. You're supposed to overcome your anger and speak up without the anger and act without anger. Then you can be clear-minded about
already, and it got us nowhere.
No, you didn't. You did not overcome your anger. You held back your anger. You just said you held back your anger. You believe in anger at the right time, at the right place, and all that stuff.
I see you're talking to me specifically.
Well, you specifically, because that's what you were the one making the point. But
No, I understand. I understand.
But everybody else, every other conservative, practically, also hasn't overcome their anger. So I'm not just saying you personally, but yes, you personally too. But every conservative, whether they stormed it or didn't storm it, doesn't have the power to overcome evil, because we're overcome by evil. And that's why the Tea Party failed, because they're weak, bunch of weak boomers. They were peaceful though, and they got a certain distance, but they didn't get much because they got scammed by a bunch of phonies who pretended to be Republicans and they're rhinos, right? Just like has been happening for decades. But
they were labeled as violent thugs.
Yeah, they were. You're talking about the Tea Party? Yeah, they were labeled as terrorists. Yeah, they were labeled as terrorists. Yeah, but I'm telling you that they were weak. They were not effective fighters. President Trump has been an effective fighter so far, right? I'm saying only so far, because he's one man. He's one man against even his own administration, who's turned on him.
He's one man against all evil.
Yeah. And
all evil in this country.
And same thing with all of us. We have to overcome. We have to be like, one man could be powerful. Think about, I don't know if you've listened to the Jesse Lee Peterson show much, but he has helped awaken people by just setting an example. That's more powerful than you can imagine.
I have listened to you and Jesse in the past, and I have forgiven my father and mother.
Nice.
And in my experience, what happened after that is that as the uncontrollable anger would rise up in me, I would remind myself, I suddenly had the ability to remind myself, no, you've actually dealt with this already, and my anger would subside. But this forgiveness of my parents happened during this lockdown, a year that I lost my job, lost all of my money, and lost quite a few relationships. And I do have moments of anger, and everything that just happened with the election, watching it get blatantly stolen from right in front of our eyes.
You can't say that.
I can't say that?
I'm playing with you. I'm half playing with you because of the sake of these platforms, which are really far-left publishers that will shut you down for saying the truth.
James, they're going to shut you down at some point.
I know, but let's not just dive right into it foolishly, foolhardily. Mm-hmm. Jack from Connecticut saying it. Hake. Jack from Connecticut saying this because they're going to shut me down anyways, and then I get shut down. That's not the right time.
I understand that. I mean, it's I hope that you're working on other platforms right now so that when this transition has to happen, it's a smooth transition.
Yeah,
you don't deserve to be shut down.
Right.
And my opinions are entirely my own. YouTube.
I disavow.
He disavowed. There you go. He disavowed. What can you say now?
And I'm getting called a coward B word on in the chat by one guy. Anyway.
Oh well.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. It has been an evil what they've done to businesses and our rights, but there is a better way to respond by you have to keep. Do you do Jesse Lee Peterson's silent prayer?
I have fallen behind on Jesse Lee Peterson's silent prayer, and you have just given me a reminder to get back on top of that. I think I'm going to do it when this call is done.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, we have to be serious about seeking God, because the only way that we're going to get the country back or your own life and freedom back personally is through him, right? It seems like it.
It seems like it. I put my faith in God. I put my faith in God to work through Trump and people like Trump, the few of us that there are. There's actually many of us. It's just that so many of us are at the bottom of society. We're not making our way into office.
We should be millionaires and billionaires. And we should be powerful people spiritually. Because if you say that you put your faith in God, but you aren't doing the prayer, it doesn't sound like you're actually putting your faith in God.
Criticism accepted.
Yeah. Anyway, man, I appreciate you. Right on.
Can I make one more quick point before I go? So I just want to say something. When Black Lives Matter protested, they destroyed all the businesses in the area. When Trump supporters protested, we didn't go after a single business at all. And as a matter of fact, somebody opened a concession stand at the bottom of the protest, and people supported that concession stand. When BLM and Antifa protest, your business is getting destroyed. When Trump supporters protest, it's time to open your business and make money.
Yeah, and you didn't attack people with cameras. Oh, actually, you might have. Not you,
there
but
was one.
there was.
So listen.
Yeah, the AP
My
crew
friends who
got their
inside,
stuff. Well, let me just
there
finish
was
the
one
story.
camera crew.
Let me finish the story. The AP crew fled their stuff and their equipment was destroyed, is what the story was. Okay, go, Jack, with it. What are you
No,
gonna
you
say?
are right. There was one group, but like my friends who got inside, because I did not get inside. My friends who got inside, the camera people just walked right up to them. The camera people walked past the cops, and the people who got inside, they were just chatting with the cops. The camera people walked right up to them and took pictures. They didn't care. They weren't scared.
The cops respected the press passes, is what Elijah Schaefer was saying. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's all my points, James. Thank you for
appreciate
listening.
you, Jack. Take care, man. Very nice. So before I get to more callers, there's a whole lot of callers. Craig in Illinois says it was Antifa. Robert in Nevada wants to talk about D.C. Tony, gloating Tony, says it's America's greatest day. And Earl from Michigan, my second favorite caller. But first, let me play this clip, and hopefully it's not too loud, and hopefully it's not too quiet. I think you're going to have to pull it way down, because I just have a feeling. I stole it from Politico, or I am using it with credit from Politico. They put together this edit of what went down yesterday. You'll hear Trump talking, you'll hear phony Joe Biden talking, and if you're watching the video, you'll see some footage of a little bit of a hint of the fighting and protests. Check this out.
I hope Mike is going to do the right thing. I hope so.
Mike Pence.
I hope so. Because if Mike Pence does the right thing, we win the election.
Are there any objections to counting the certificate of vote of the state of Arizona that the teller has verified appears to be regular in form and authentic?
Mr. Vice President, I, Paul Gosar from Arizona.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Arizona rise?
I rise up for myself and 60 of my colleagues to object to the counting of the electoral ballots from Arizona.
We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede when there's theft involved. Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore, and that's what this is all about.
That's supposed to be
And
incitement.
to use a favorite term that all of you people really came up with, we will stop the steal.
This election were overturned by
Mitch
mere
McConnell.
allegations from the losing side, our democracy would enter a death spiral.
For those who respect the voters, simply telling the voters, go jump in a lake, the fact that you have deep concerns is of no moment to us. That jeopardizes, I believe, the legitimacy of this and subsequent elections.
Breaking windows. No masks.
We'll pause.
Protesters are in the building.
Thank you.
Without objection, the chair declares the House in recess pursuant to Clause 12B of Rule 1.
They're hiding. They're running from the protesters. cuss words.
No, you got water.
Cussing women.
Give them water.
We the people!
Yep.
I call on this mob to pull back and allow the work of democracy to go forward. You've heard me say before in different contexts, the words of a president matter.
I know how you feel, but go home and go home in peace.
Nice. Thank you, Politico. So that was a little taste of some of what happened yesterday, January 6th. By the way, I forgot to wish. Joel is saying, no, Trump, no. By the way, Merry Christmas to all Armenians and Russians, all you Eastern Orthodox Christians. Yesterday, January 6th, was the real Christmas day for the Orthodox Christians. Nice. Belated. I forgot about it. Apologies. So, phony Joe Biden could barely, poor man. Can't hardly talk. Hasn't he had brain issues in the past? Anyway, how did Joe Biden have a prepared speech? They can whip those things up pretty quickly, man. They can. They really can. It wasn't that good of a speech, honestly. He was just saying, the words of a president matters. They can inspire or they can incite. And I'm thinking, this guy was vice president under Barack Obama who incited many riots, Black Lives Matter riots. He brought Black Lives Matter and Al the Riot King Sharpton to the White House many times. Al Sharpton went to the White House to so-called advise him on race issues or something like that. And it's so ridiculous. Al Sharpton, in my mind, was obsolete from when I was a kid. He was like a joke of a person. But I guess dumb blacks believe that he has any legitimacy. And Obama lent that legitimacy to him. So he had him over I think 36 times. Al Sharpton to the White House. Ridiculous. So don't tell me about incitement. This guy, Barack Obama, talked about, every black man in America has been followed in department stores, implying that, it's racist because blacks are suspected of being thieves before they're ever, in many cases, they're just innocent. Not acknowledging that, yes, blacks do disproportionately commit theft, for example. And he said, Trayvon Martin, if I had a son, he would look like Trayvon, implying that Trayvon's blackness, which I doubt that, anyway, his blackness played a role in his death. Well, his degenerate, fallen, thug black culture might have, yes. And the typical black out-of-wedlock messed up non-family situation that Trayvon had, yes. But not this fake racism thing that fake President Obama incited the fake outrage and the fake riots. And so did the mainstream media. What a mess. Anyway, let me get to Robert in Nevada. He wants to comment on this D.C. situation. Robert, how you doing?
Hey, James.
Hey.
This is the Robert from Pasadena, but I'm up in Tahoe right now.
Nice to hear from you. I was thinking about you.
Crazy sense.
So you're not going to be able to make it to the men's forum tonight?
Unfortunately not. I had come back on Friday, but I wish I could.
Right on. We'll catch you again.
Yeah. You're right down the street.
Yeah. I like Pasadena.
Well, me too. It's very classy. I feel like other parts of LA, I lived in downtown for 4 years.
Okay.
And I grew up in Pasadena until I was 16, and it's very classy. It has museums and the Rose Bowl and Olympic swimming pool and the Tournament of Roses. They do the Rose Parade in Old Town, and great city.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Yeah, me too. That's cool. So you wanted to talk about this D.C. situation?
Yeah, I've been kind of mulling it over because I was watching it live as it was happening. Like, I watched the speech at I think it was the Washington Monument, and then he was like, okay, we're going to walk down the Capitol. And then I started hearing stories like, oh, they're pushing through the gates, or
the barricades.
Oh, they're up on the steps. And
Yep.
then I was like, they're inside. And then I heard, a woman got shot. And I saw a video of her, like I don't think I'll ever forget this video. She was, like, coming out, and she was still alive. They were, like, holding her neck.
Wow.
And, like, you could see her eyes. And she was still alive then when I saw the video. And then later I heard she died, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And, like, so at first with that whole situation, I wasn't exactly, I didn't know exactly what to think. At first,
right.
I believe that, at first I wasn't against it, but I was kind of like, I thought it was interesting. I kind of got why people were doing it. But as I thought overnight, it's like, it kind of reminds me of something like the Boston Tea Party. Like, they did it, but what kind of name did that give to the revolution? What kind of name did that give to Trump supporters?
Yeah.
If we're going in and doing this, it's like at first I get it, but I would never have done that. If I was there, I would not have done it. But from afar, in Lake Tahoe, I got it. But now I think it was a very bad decision. I mean, Trump, he said, okay, fine, I'll concede. I think he would have gone on longer without saying that if this whole thing didn't happen.
Yeah.
I think I get it, but it was just a horrible catastrophe. It could have gone a lot better yesterday, but it didn't.
Right. And I am kind of glad that it happened. Not that I think it was right that it happened, but I'm glad because it shows.
I agree.
It shows the evil. It kind of exposes more evil.
Yeah.
In the sense that it was wrong for them to do it, and the ridiculous overreaction is just unmasking rhinos who betrayed us by not standing by their word to contest, and then also this phony attack from guys like Joe Scarborough and that black lady and all these people who are going to clamp. They're going to clamp down on us, and it's going to be a trial for many people. Many people are going to have injustice happen to them as a result of this, all in the name of this fake thing. There's this fake outrage going on. So
I think that I do see your point where like I said, if I was there, I would not have done it.
Right.
And and I think people, if they broke windows, if they broke windows, if they, broke the law, they should face consequences. I mean, at least they knew what they're getting into.
Yep.
But as far as, it's happened already. I mean, I can see that in the shadow of all those things I already said, there is a certain sending a message to people that if our country's come to a point where people have supported, half the people that voted in the country supported one candidate, and a majority of them think the election is, not exactly straight.
Yeah.
Then, look at what they're willing to do. Look at what Americans are willing to do.
Right.
To really get the message through to you so that we're heard.
Yeah.
There is that there. It's not that only. It's all the other things I said too, but that's certainly there. It's like just the same thing with the Tea Party.
Yep.
It probably for a lot of people, I'm sure it didn't send the right message, but
for the original Boston Tea Party you're talking about.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The one where they dressed up as Indians and got in a boat through the can. I'm sure there were people that were in favor of American independence that thought that was not
right.
Maybe they understood it, but they didn't think that was the right way to go about it because it didn't give us a good name. It just gave more ammunition to the enemy.
Yeah. Revolver News quoted, I half mockingly, actually, I kind of halfway agree with it, but I mockingly quoted MLK, who said that a riot is the language of the unheard.
I saw it all the time.
That's what they were quoting at every Black Lives Matter Antifa riot, right? So I'm quoting it for this one. And it really kind of, it's more true for us than it is for Black Lives Matter or Antifa, who have corporations and Twitter and YouTube and Google and Instagram
all the institutions
propping up their fake message. So yeah, meanwhile our side is getting shut down, and now we're all the more getting shut down, honestly. So,
Yeah.
but AOC once said that a protest is supposed to make you uncomfortable. And Revolver News kind of quoted that.
Yeah, that's funny. That's good stuff. I think I had a couple things to say. Trying to remember what it was.
Well, it was a shame, man. Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. I think that Donald Trump, I'm sad for him because he really gave a lot of his social life. He gave a lot of he gave a lot of money and a lot of his time, and I'm sure he was passionate about what he was doing. And I'm just, of course, he didn't do everything right, but I feel, he represents us. He put his neck on the line for us, and I feel like he's not getting his just desserts. He's going to get really crucified. He's already been crucified, but they're going to, put him up again. They're going to take him down and put him up again once he's out of office.
Right.
And
I know. So you're a little bit sad for him? I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
I'm empathetic. I'm empathetic for him.
Okay, right on. Yeah, I'm grateful for that guy. I love how he's fighting. In my mind, he's been, in his words, in his statements, in his speaking off the cuff, he's been quite perfect in those things.
I agree.
In some of his decisions or whatever, some of the stuff that's come out of the administration, I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of the kissing up to blacks and gays and women and all that stuff. And it came up and bit him in the back, because a lot of those women are now resigning over his fake imaginary incitement to violence, right?
Yeah.
But I agree, man. It's rough to think about the fact that this woman went to a protest. It was mostly a peaceful protest, and supposedly, according to some, she crossed a line or something like that, and she was shot and killed. And I don't think the cops were prepared. I don't think it was a murder, unless there's some type of proof. And I don't know who committed it.
Yeah.
I hear that there is video footage of the incident, so maybe somebody can investigate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the 2 points I was going to make. It has to do with Ashley.
Oh, yeah.
One point that was made, they're like, oh, hypocrite. You 6 months you've been going, oh, the BLM riots are a horrible thing and back to blue and all that stuff, and then now y'all are running into the Capitol building. And something I thought about that, and that the conclusions I've come to is, one, is that what they were rioting over, just for starter, what they were rioting over was not correct. They were wrong. It wasn't the way they said. And, so first of all, they're not morally righteous.
The Black Lives Matter ones?
Yes.
Yeah.
And what they were doing was harming innocents. They were harming innocent businesses and people, killed 30 people over the riot.
Yeah.
Retired cops, so on. They were harming the people of America.
Yep.
What happened here was, most of the protesters were, either at the steps or on the outside. But the people that did go in and break windows and push open the doors and such, fight with police, like I said, they should be, punished for that.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's on public property. It's on government property. It's not like the people's. It's not like someone's private owned thing.
Right.
And it's these people are representatives of us. These I'm sure everyone in there, or at least 90%, were Americans.
Yeah.
These people represent their states. They supposedly represent them, and this is supposedly our house. So it's like it's not. Well, and we're morally righteous. And we're morally righteous. And we're not harming private property. We're not harming the citizenry.
Yeah,
we're trying to send a message to the elites.
Even our thugs are not as bad as theirs, I guess you could say.
Yeah, yeah.
But we should.
And we're not ashamed. We don't wear masks.
That's true.
We're willing to stand for what we believe in. We're willing to face the consequences.
Yeah.
It's just not comparable. It's like, oh, you're a hypocrite. It's like, well, no, not really. They're not morally righteous.
Right.
They did immoral things because of their false sense of certainty, and we are morally righteous, and we aren't harming people in an immoral way. If anything, I don't think I get why I don't think Ashley, the woman that was killed.
Yeah, Ashley Babbitt.
Ashley Babbitt. I'm not gonna say that she is without guilt or at least without responsibility for what happened. Totally, because she was trying to get into where all the Congress people were. But also, I don't think the guy that shot her, I don't think that was equal to what she was doing.
You're right.
So
of course not.
I think that he was wrong. I think he's more wrong than Ashley is.
Yeah, I think so
I don't
too.
think it's cut and dry. I'm trying to be fair, like Joel said.
Right.
I don't want to go like, oh yeah, no, George Floyd, he took fentanyl and meth and he OD'd in police custody, and that I'm willing to take that explanation. Or with the guy that was shot in Kenosha,
yeah,
I'm willing to take that explanation and see both sides. But I got to try to be at least fair here, even though it's a tragedy.
Right.
I have to at least try to see the whole picture.
I only disagree with you that I don't think that we are morally righteous. We are on the we're on the side of what's right. We're for America. We're for integrity. We're for real freedom. We're for a return to this stuff. But we are not righteous people. Otherwise, I think that we would be winning. Or even if there were a good minority of righteous people on our side, we would be winning.
Yeah.
But we're not righteous, and I think that's why we lose.
I agree that we're not righteous, and it's Nick Fuentes, right?
Yeah.
Nick Fuentes says that there's people that it's kind of the thing that the other guy said on the call. He says there are people that are that are fighting for this right.
You're getting away from your phone, Robert. I didn't understand you. That was muffled right there.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's much better.
So what I was trying to say was that we do have people that are morally right, or at least fighting for or standing for the right things. And speaking up. But most of them are like middle or lower class people. They're not really in the halls of influence. They're not, the top of big companies. They don't run Facebook, etc.
Yep.
So he hopes that maybe with the Generation Z or with the millennials or the people that are going to, start coming to the forefront over the next decade or so, hopefully there will be people of quality, people that can get up to the elite parts that are morally righteous, that do know what's right, that will stand for what's right.
Yes.
And that's kind of a big if,
right.
But I hope that in the next 10 years or so that, we can try to make that happen.
Yeah.
But I think we're running out of time. We don't have, maybe we have one more generation. Maybe.
Yeah, who knows?
After that, I
who
don't
knows?
know if we can keep it going,
Right.
And that's an it, too. That's an it.
Yeah.
At a maximum, I think we have one more generation to, like 30 years, 40 years. At a maximum.
We'll see. One can never predict the future, but you're right. We need to start representing ourselves well, and then we can get representation. Robert, I appreciate it. It's good to talk with you.
Good to talk with you too, James.
All right.
See you at the church sometime.
Nice. Take care.
Bye.
Wow. Okay, so Tony hung up. What a mess. Let's see. President Trump, let me just cover this thing about Trump's Twitter. 3 of President Trump's tweets were deleted. Lines are full, guys. I will get back to you shortly here. President Trump tweeted this thing, and it was deleted by Twitter. It was deemed not acceptable. He said this claim of fraud. Trump's tweeted, "These are the things and events that happen when a sacred, what he calls a landslide election victory, is so unceremoniously and viciously stripped away from great patriots who have been badly and unfairly treated for so long. Go home with love and in peace. Remember this day forever." It sounds like an okay message to me, but Twitter seemed it cannot be liked, replied to, retweeted due to a risk of violence. And he said this claim of election fraud, Twitter said, this claim of election fraud is disputed, and this tweet can't be replied to. Eventually, I think that they deleted that tweet. They deleted another tweet in which he had that video, which Joel disagreed with him, saying that he understood and then not condemning, and things like that. There was multiple tweets, 3 tweets that Trump tweeted that were deemed violation of Twitter rules. over, I read about it in Hake News. And Twitter is so phony, right? They just have this false version of morality. It's the same false version of morality that got Lauren Southern, for example, banned from Patreon. Actually, she did worse than what Trump did, which if she even did bad at all, right? But she went on a boat and was trying to prevent illegals from arriving, illegal fake refugees, right? Wannabe refugees from arriving in Greece or somewhere, right? I don't remember what exactly it was, but it was all these refugee boats going in and flooding these European nations. And she was against that. She shot like some flares calling attention to this boat. And then this Patreon owner, who doesn't seem exactly straight or manly, but it's a male, said, well, she put lives in danger. That's why we banned her from Patreon, which is a platform on which you can support people, right? Now they're doing this same false values, fake morality against President Trump. They've been doing it to you. They've been doing it to me, many of you. They did it to me, and it's crazy. Anyway, Fluky, let me read a few super chats before I get back to calls. I will do a brief break here, so about 5 minutes, guys, if you can hang tight. Fluky Unicorn gave a diamond and said, Pence is a snake in the grass. Rest in peace, GOP. Wow, that's harsh. Oh, by the way, let me read the super chats from yesterday from King Alpha Nerd. Generous King Alpha Nerd on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. Hake, you know you can't argue with a black liberal woman. And yes, I am calling Ronnie, Earl, T, Tony, and other males women. I read this one. Because they have no men traits in them. They have totally embraced their feminine spirit. They voted blue no matter who. Well, I don't know. Some of the... T claims that he voted for Trump, right? So... But, yeah, they do have this feminine spirit. And I like you too, Ronnie, by the way. He likes me. He likes Jesse. I like you too. I just had to hang up. Or I don't know if I had to, but I hung up because I got tired of the same question about what would you do if cops were violating your rights. King Alpha Nerd said, is it me or is it when every time that I hear Earl talk, the SpongeBob narrator voice comes up 5 hours later? Interesting. I haven't ever watched SpongeBob more than like 10 seconds. But thank you, King Alpha Nerd. He also says, I love how I gave a super chat about the black males being like women, and they all called in, proving my point. And Hake reads the aftermath. My case is rested. No wonder real women have to say they are strong and independent, surrounded by beta males. Yeah, yesterday was a fun day with lots of black callers. King Alpha Nerd says, I notice when the left and liars want to excuse bad behavior, they always start off with, well, look out for that till the next time. Interesting. When it rains, gave a diamond and said, the rhinos have destroyed this country. Yeah, just completely betrayed us, right? Yeah, what a shame. But there is still hope, right? There's always hope, long as we're alive. Lin Yan Chin gave a diamond and said, striking wrong doesn't require anger, a.k.a. hate. Yeah, that's a point to what the first caller was saying. The guy, I think it was the first caller, who said that anger is when it's directed in the right way at the right time at the right people and stuff like that. But it doesn't require anger, also known as hate, says Lin Yan Chin, taking an action. Caller is convicted that correction is of anger. Oh, yeah. Or convinced. Maybe he meant. Or convicted. It is Lin Yan Chin. He gets every word correct. He ask a sniper and you will see anger reduces skill, says Lin Yan Chin. Yeah, so same with the martial artists. Yep. Or the fighters in general. Get in their head. You're welcome gave a diamond and said, nothing, but thank you. You're welcome. And thank you to Noah's Ark, Kansas. I'll be right back, guys. Couple of minutes here. Quick break. Enjoy this brief song. And this song is by a few liberals, right? Or at least a couple of them. 2 of them are liberals, probably. Maybe 3. But enjoy this song. I will be right back for the rest of hour 2 to your calls. The lines are full. Hang tight.
and cry to mama. Me? I'm through running. I say we stay here and fight it out.
Nice. What's up, guys? Louis says Earth looks flat. I don't know. The Earth looks round to me. But anyway, that was Calibretto 13. Bring It On. It's a old Christian punk band. I don't know if they're Christians anymore, but I don't know if they would approve of my show. But I like their song. Very nice. So let me get right back to calls. It's a mess right now. Yeah, that was Ash versus... Was that Ash versus the Evil Dead? Or... no, I don't think it was Ash versus the Evil Dead. But that was same guy and same series. I think that was Army of Darkness. It was a line from Army of Darkness. Beta Legs Ben recognized the line. I love that line. Go ahead and run home and cry to mama. Me? I'm through running. I say we stay here and fight it out. That's what I say. Yeah, it's Bruce Campbell, the actor. It's a great line for California, America. Let's stay here and fight it out. Anyway, yeah, Dogwood. Yeah, I heard that song on Dogwood too. Keeps me lovely. Which is another Christian band from the 90s. Beautiful. Anyway, or maybe it was the early 2000s. Let me get to Earl in Michigan. Been on hold forever. My second favorite caller. What's up, Earl?
Hola, buenos dias.
Hey.
Sir James Hake.
Good morning.
Baby Hitler. A la little Nazi. You know, Fourth Reich.
Fourth Reich. Hey, baby Farrakhan. You're at it today.
But it's a question for you. If some of those police that were attacked, shot and killed some of those protesters, would you be siding with the police or siding with the protesters?
It depends on whether the shooting was warranted. You know, I did think about, we've become so soft, where we being society, right? And even maybe me too, where in the old days, there was even a Democrat mayor, I think, of like Detroit or somewhere, who said, shoot to kill for looters or something like that, and shoot to maim, maybe I have it backwards, for anybody with a Molotov cocktail or whatever. Maybe it's shoot to kill for the cocktails and shoot to maim for looters, because the Molotov cocktails are more destructive and deadly, right? Potentially deadly weapon. But it would be nice to have a harder fist on any rioter, especially the liberal rioters, because they're more destructive and evil and widespread. So it would be nice to have la mano dura, the heavy hand, the hard fist on rioters and clamp down on this madness. We need law and order, and I don't want, we need law and order, but I don't want this police state, martial law. But when it's lawlessness, you have to be able to clamp down on it. So I don't know. It would depend on the situation if one of those Trump supporters, so-called, were to get shot when they're attacking the police. I don't know. Depends on the situation. Does that answer your question, Earl?
Yeah, that's a roundabout, but half answering.
Yeah.
It was based on the discussion yesterday. When you're fighting for police got a right to shoot you, and if they kill you, you was all justified. So if those protesters were fighting the police like any other person fighting the police, and the police shot him, I assume you would justify the police for shooting.
Maybe. I mean, that's two completely different situations. You're referencing that guy, Jacob Blake, who got paralyzed after getting shot 4 times in the back. I guess 7 or 8 shots.
Not in general, anybody fighting the police.
But no, but
just Jacob Blake.
It's a completely different situation because Jacob Blake was getting arrested. They had to arrest him.
I'm not speaking of particularly of Jacob Blake.
I know, but
I'm talking
this is
about
a case of
anybody that.
No, but listen, you're talking about people resisting arrest versus people trying to get somewhere or getting into a confrontation with a cop. The cop is just as happy with the person confronting them going away somewhere else, but not so with the person who needs to be arrested.
Police, it becomes once you start fighting them, anything is possible, right?
Right.
The police can react and shoot you, right?
It might happen, yeah.
Yeah.
And in fact, it did happen to one young lady.
Well, we don't know the circumstance. She might have just went to a place that was off limits, and they was,
Right. I didn't say that she didn't do. I didn't say that she didn't do anything wrong. I don't know that she did or didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that did happen. So that did happen, but I don't know. I don't know whether it was justified or not. I lean towards. I think that the police had bad training.
If she was in the place breaking in or whatever,
yeah,
Beauregarding, really haven't. They sieged the Capitol like a mob.
Using all the language of the liberal media.
Yeah, it was sedition. Insurrection. Just some Bogarts, overrun.
Same thing with the Black Lives Matter, right?
Yeah, you can say that you complain about them doing it wrong when they do stuff like that.
Yep.
But you excuse and try to make it relevant. Well, since somebody else did it, it's okay.
Whatever.
But when the other person, when it was just a Black Lives Matter or any black group, you was all on top of how wrong it was.
Because they are wrong.
But so are these folks wrong too?
Yeah.
I'm glad you admit it.
Shoot.
The president, this cabinet of the president, they were thinking about invoking the 25th Amendment.
Shame on them. Shame on them if it's true.
And so forth, because they think he's uncouth. He's lost it.
No, they're the ones who lost it. They're cowards.
And,
they don't stand up for what's right. He's one man standing up for what's right.
That's the problem. Y'all is falling for the okie doke. He's been playing y'all since he got in office.
No, the whole rest of the government has been playing you all your life.
He tells you it was all
along with the mainstream media.
It was all a game. He told you that.
He doesn't have to tell us. We've been talking about these same things that he's talking about since before we ever knew that he was such a strong figure.
He said he was gonna, if he lost, he was gonna say it was because it was stolen. It was fraud and everything else, and
because it is.
Went with it.
I mean, I'm just kidding, YouTube. I disavow my words.
Well, I know you still believe
Twitter.
it.
And Twitter. This is what really happened. It was legitimate.
You still believe the lie and so forth.
Anyway.
They played you. All the politicians played you. They knew it was over, but they knew they could get some political gain out of it.
No, we didn't fall for it. I talked to you about this yesterday.
I don't know why you blaming the ones that didn't speak up during the
I blame everyone for where he went wrong, or she.
No, I'm talking about validating the election. That was a game all the time.
I know. Bunch of rhinos, bunch of phonies.
There was no way they was going to change anything. They were just going through the process.
It would have had they had courage, but they don't. Had they had courage and integrity.
The game was over.
All right. Thank you, Earl. Nice talking with you.
they needed both houses to agree, and there was no way that was going to happen in the Congress.
Because the Democrats have zero integrity, and neither do the rhinos. Thanks,
So
Earl. Nice talking with you.
That wasn't going to go anywhere from the beginning.
Okay.
But y'all was played.
Great point. Great point. Thanks, man.
Adios, amigos.
Bye. Baby Hitler, Fourth Reich. I'm wearing a Confederate flag T-shirt. I'm American. We love America here. And by the way, the Confederate flag is part of America. There was 600,000 people who died to keep America united. Yeah, the South wanted to secede. Abraham Lincoln, Honest Abe, didn't want it to happen. He fought for us to stay together. It's about freedom of speech and states' rights. Let me get to Craig in Illinois. Talks about D.C. and Antifa. What's up, Craig? How are you doing?
Hey, how you doing? Hey, Hake, I'm sorry, man. Excuse me, I'm clearing my throat. How's it going, man?
It's going well. Thank you. How about you?
I'm all right. Just, taking it one day at a time. So, yesterday, I don't know how much of it is true, but, I feel that was staged, what happened yesterday.
It's definitely lied about, twisted, and exploited.
Yeah, to make
for
the
lies.
president look bad and to call us patriots terrorists and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the real terrorist is on the left.
Right.
And
Antifa.
But yeah, Antifa.
Black Lives Matter.
Trash. Got to add trash in there too.
Yeah, Democrats.
Black trash.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm trying to trying to wake up out of this. I mean, I can't believe that this was allowed.
I can. I'm not surprised.
I
can totally believe it, and I could totally see it coming because, well, I don't know if you've been listening to me, but I've been saying, I don't know, the rhinos are really weak, and they're never going to stand for what's right.
To you.
Yeah.
I've been listening to you. I can't believe the way Pence did the president. I know the president's very upset. He ain't going to show up while he on national television.
I honestly don't know what to think of Mike Pence. I know a lot of you guys are saying, I haven't really seen what he said. I think that he's, I don't know what to think of that guy. I hate to think ill of him, but maybe I'm just being too nice. But I guess we'll find out as
I was
time goes
listening
on.
to y'all earlier today, and y'all made some good, valid points. And I don't believe that was us conservatives out there behaving like that. It was all staged. I'm hearing rumors that there was a bus full of Antifa terrorist guys on the bus, and they got off the bus pretending to be like they were Trump supporters. So
I say leave it as an I don't know, because I could easily see the more spurgy of our side doing it. By spurgy, it's a short for Asperger's people, but you know that's not exactly what I mean. I mean like the more angry, out of control people, because there are angry people on our side who they're upset about the pedophile stuff that they've been hearing about. They're upset about, which it has come out, by the way, people, Epstein and many other people, or allegedly, right? Epstein was alleged. But there's they're upset about what's been going on, and they've been talking for years about these people are traitors to America. So I'm not surprised that there might be people in there who were really wanting what's right for the country, but just misguided by their anger.
Yeah, and another thing, you got patriots out here that's been voting for the Republicans all their lives, and they just can't believe what they have done. I just want to send out my prayers and condolences to the young lady that was shot.
Yeah.
That was sad. And, I think
Ashley Babbitt.
Ashley Babbitt, yeah. And,
three others died too. Not from gunshots, but from other things. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think it should have been handled in another way. I know we sometimes, as human beings, we're gonna make mistakes. We're not on perfect planet. I know you guys speak about doing the right thing, and I commend to y'all on that, and y'all are right.
Yeah.
But some people feel that we need to get our voices heard in order, for something to get done. These guys up in those offices have been doing this to the American people for a long time, and for them to give us a $600 damn check, it's a slap in the face, and you give these illegal immigrants $1,600.
Yeah,
that right there should show you what the Democrats and the rhinos are all about.
Yep.
Just got to do your research, that's all. But I'm not going to be on here too long because I know there's some other callers on there want to talk, man. But good, man, talking with you, man. And y'all, God bless y'all over at Bond, man. Y'all doing a great job over there, man. I'm going to still continue listening to y'all, even though we ain't got the great white hope in office no more. But I'm still going to be listening.
He's still there. He's still there until the 20th. I heard, by the way, according to the Epic Times, Facebook has shut down, blocked Trump until at least January 20th. Isn't that a shame? Talk about anti-American company, right? But but keep your head up, Craig. We can still win. Man. We can still win, at least for what's right. I don't know about the election necessarily. It sounds like it's wrapping up, but we'll see. Yeah. It's still not over. It's still not over, by the way. It's not quite over.
Right, real quick though.
Yeah.
Do you think they're gonna keep continuing doing this now that they got access to those voter machines and how they can flip it around to make it seem like this person got these votes? Because look, all the evidence is there, and you had the FBI and all these other so-called law enforcement guys. They do nothing about it.
Right.
They do anything to try to investigate it. And an Attorney General Barr, of all people, is a disgrace to this country. I'm sorry.
You might be right. Yeah. I don't really have a high regard for him necessarily because I haven't seen him standing up strong for what's right. And the FBI, they're a bunch of liberals. They believe in hate crimes, for crying out loud. I almost said something else. They sent guys over to study that, to investigate that fake news thing that Bubba Wallace was crying about at that NASCAR place. They don't care about what's right. They're a bunch of Hillary and Biden and liberal and establishment supporters, including the rhinos who work there too. But anyway, we'll see. I don't know.
To all the liberals that voted for Biden, hey, good luck to you in 4 years, because y'all gonna get it now. Just wait and see.
It's interesting times. Appreciate you, Craig.
Oh, yeah. Okay, bye-bye.
Take care. Okay, let me quickly get to Rick in Maine. He wants to talk about D.C. as well. He thinks it was Antifa, too, I think. Rick, good to hear from you.
My favorite millennial.
Nice.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Listen, there's a lot of things to that question that I can't say on the air.
Yeah.
But anyway, there was Antifa and Black Lives Matter in that mess to instigate it.
You think so? It could well be. It definitely could be.
Same MO. The same MO. They've done it all these months, and ever since President Trump got into office, they have been raising the holy Hades out of this country.
Yeah.
Now, made that point. I want to make another point, James.
Yes.
You liberals, Democrats, and all the other such have broken every single law in this country. Now, when this comes to fruition, I'm not saying whether it's going to or not, I'm just saying when it does. I'm glad you people are going to be slaves to the system.
Yeah.
Because it's exactly what you're going to be. So you get rid of your rights completely. You have no more rights. I'm going to be dead in a few years, so it doesn't matter to me anymore.
Don't say that, Rick.
My family has 6 generations of people that have fought and some died for the rights you people have.
Yeah.
And you decide to completely obliterate and destroy this country. Well, happy loss of rights, people, because it's exactly what you're getting.
It's true. These people are evil.
You think your people are gonna be better off with those people in office? Look at the history.
Say that again. Look at the what? Rick. I think you might have hit mute. Rick, are you there? Check your mute. You might have hit mute. He disconnected. My hands are over here. But thank you, Rick. See, people are frustrated. It's a long time coming. And these people are so blind. They're voting for just pure evil for their own detriment. Biden nominated Merrick Garland as Attorney General, by the way, if he gets in, assuming that he gets in, right? So thank God that we didn't confirm Merrick Garland to the Supreme Court under Barack Obama. The rhinos did not vote to confirm Merrick Garland. That was Obama's pick for the Supreme Court to replace the great Justice Scalia. But thank God we put in somebody else. We waited, we held off, and then President Trump got in, and he put in Neil Gorsuch, who is no Scalia, let's put it that way, but it's not Merrick Garland either. But Merrick Garland, if Merrick Garland is so-called good enough to be Biden's Attorney General, I'm glad he's not on the Supreme Court. What a mess. Yeah. Rick, I'm sorry you disconnected. You can't get through anymore. The lines are so packed. But I appreciate you, man. I love boomers. And a lot of the boomers have been not happy with what's been going on. So don't hate the boomers, guys. Even the boomers that are dumb enough to go along with this madness. Such as, I don't know, is Joe Biden even a boomer? He's a little bit old to even be a boomer. Let me get to Sergio in Austin, Texas. He's been on hold forever. Sergio, what's up?
Hey, how are you, brother?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Man, I'm living the dream.
Nice.
I just had a quick, wanted to chat with you about it. So I was listening earlier, and Joel's point and your point, and then Jesse really summarized the whole thing with, whether it was right or wrong to go and do that in D.C.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, I mean, there's a difference between the law and then what is right, what's moral.
True.
And I mean, there's a lot of laws that, there's laws that allow babies being killed. That doesn't mean that it's right or moral.
Very true.
And even though the law was for them not to go in there, whether it was Patriots or whether it was Antifa or, false flag, whatever it might be, I think this isn't the time for us to back down as patriots, when we shouldn't start feeling bad about ourselves and how we're being seen now, because they already see us that way.
Right. Yeah. There is this
we're
fake
monsters.
There's a total fake fairness amongst the rhinos and even some of the conservatives where people will back down. I agree. We should keep on pushing for what's right. I like how JLP continues to fight. President Trump continues to fight for what's right. Even when, the social media companies are shutting down men of truth. Who can you think of is more of a man of truth than President Trump and Jesse Lee Peterson?
Honestly, no one.
Yeah, I mean who hasn't already been shut down, right? Many of them have already been shut down too. So,
and I think that's the thing, that even whether it was someone doing it just because they were upset with the situation or if it was a false flag, I think what we're missing as conservatives and Christians is true leadership. Someone that can stand up and unite everybody in a way that they're not going to be afraid of things like this. Someone needs to stand up and say, hey, this was wrong. It shouldn't have been done. But this is just the result of, the oppression that conservatives are going through.
In fact,
that Christians are going through.
In fact, that's exactly what President Trump tweeted, and then that tweet, I think, was deleted by it was censored by Twitter. He's on it, man. But you're right. I don't know if we need a leader. We do need people. We do need men to become leaders, though. We don't need this woman stuff. Endless propping up of the weakest, fakest women for senators and politicians. And it's nice that they're so-called conservative, but be conservative at home and let's have men step up and I'm trying to imitate Mazie Hirono. Shut up and sit down, or shut up and step up and do the right thing for a change. But
I think it's really important. It does start at home, and I don't know. Maybe of a leader is one single person is the correct term for what I'm trying to get the point across to.
No,
but we need some kind of like elders. We need some people that are going to head the charge and say it was wrong, but we're still here. Our voice needs to be heard. I mean, it's just like I don't know if you've ever seen The Patriot, the movie.
I haven't watched it. I heard that it's good.
Man, you should, but Mel Gibson's character, spoiler alert, he's real. He wants to be real passive, and he doesn't want to fight for the country, for the colony. And then he ends up having to. And we need that. There's a lot of people that we just need to do it the right way, and we need to vote these people out. Well, there comes a point where our votes don't matter anymore.
Yeah.
If that's the only reliance that we have is that we're going to vote them out, whatever we vote in is going to be the exact same thing.
No, it's not just voting. We have to change our culture and bring back examples, real examples of what's right, and that is going to change the culture. And then the votes will change if we hang tight to that. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Right.
If not, there's always a silent prayer.
Right.
I feel good there.
Right on, man. I appreciate you, Sergio. Great points. Anything else?
All right, Jim. No, brother, that's it, man. You have a great week.
All right. You as well. Take care. Men's Forum tonight, guys. Men's Forum tonight. Make sure you join if you're in the area and you would like to join, right? 7 p.m. at Bond for men only. Not streamed live, just private, right? This is how the men's forums are and the women's forums. Let me get to Tony in California. He wants to call in and gloat, I think. Tony, in California, how are you doing?
Hey, friend Hake.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Man, yesterday, man, I had a ball, man. Yesterday, America was great because I seen the true colors of the European here in this country.
What colors are those? Red, white, and blue?
No, well, hey, look, just take a look at you. You're a true European American.
Thank you.
European American.
Actually, I'm just plain American.
No, you're European, bro. European first.
I disavow the Europe. I disavow Europe. Well, I don't know. Europe needs to repent, and so does America.
But look here, man. What got into y'all, man? Donald Trump told y'all to go down that street and kick the doors in. Y'all just do what masters say do, huh?
Huh?
I mean, Donald Trump told y'all to say go down the street and kick the door in.
Is that what he said?
That what he said in so many words. That what he said.
Are you drunk?
Y'all leave here. No, am I drunk? I don't drink, sir. I don't drink.
Oh, do you smoke?
No, I don't smoke cigarettes. No, I don't.
No, I said, do you smoke? I didn't say, do you smoke cigarettes? Nowadays, when people ask if you smoke, that usually means you smoke pot. Do you smoke pot?
Well, 420 is the plant from the earth. It came from God in the book of Genesis.
Is that a yes?
Chapter 1.
Is that a yes?
Yes, sir. Yeah, of course.
Did you smoke this morning?
No, sir. No, sir. I'm out here working, sir. But the thing is, man, what got into y'all, man? Y'all got a wild hair up y'all butt, man, and it went crazy.
What the heck?
I mean, what's the problem?
What do you mean, y'all? What do you mean, y'all?
Well, hey, I could have sworn I seen you climbing with you or what that boy, Nick. climbing that wall, so he was coming into the country or something. I said, look at
I'm
this.
flattered that you think I'm so nimble.
Well, hey, I figured, hey, you would climb a wall in a heartbeat if Donald Trump said climb that wall for me.
Yeah,
and kill
I would.
yourself and kill yourself. Kill yourself at the same time while you're doing it.
He would only say that if it were the right thing to do.
Well, I see 4 people did it yesterday, and where they at today? They dead. So the thing is, you know,
You're cold.
I don't understand. No,
Cold-hearted.
I'm cold. I'm cold-hearted, but I got it from you. I got it from you and your master,
Wow.
Lee Peterson. Where they at? Where they at today? They dead. Okay, so what? The thing is, y'all would go to the extreme. Y'all hate losing.
That's
y'all
true.
Hate losing in a fair.
That's because we're men. Men aren't built to lose.
That was just
Are we?
Lee Peterson. Oh, you got to lose, bro. You got to lose. That's right.
No.
That's Lee Peterson said white people hate losing. He didn't say that.
We should.
Why? Why? And y'all thinking dead people.
Do you like losing, Tony? Do you like losing?
We got. Hey, it's part of life, my friend. It's part
So
of
you
life.
like it?
It's part of life.
Do you hate it or like it?
You just bad and keep on going.
Do you hate it?
Bad. No, I don't hate nothing. It's a
Yeah,
lesson.
right.
It's a lesson learned. It's a lesson learned.
Do you hate those 4 people who died?
Well, I don't know them, so hey, they
Wow.
dead, so they don't matter to me.
Dang.
They dead. People die every day, bro. So the
Is
thing
that what you said about Trayvon Martin?
Yeah, same thing I said about Trayvon Martin.
People die every day?
He got murdered.
Whatever. All right. Nice talking with you, Tony.
Hey, look, blow some balls, y'all, and go
Whoa.
and take responsibility.
Hey, keep it clean.
Take responsibility. Everything.
No, that's not clean. Don't say it. Don't say it. All right.
Okay, well, blow some testicles and stop blaming
That
your
did
mama.
not help.
And stop blaming your mama. And tell Joel he can't come to the right side because
Tony, maybe you should start being honest and blame your mama.
No, well, hey, mama ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm a grown man. I gotta do for myself now. Take responsibility for my own actions and stop blaming. And,
You don't act like a grown man. You act like a child. You act like a child.
Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself and grow a set of testicles and be a man. That's all you gotta do.
You don't have to keep on
Be a
using that
man.
metaphor or whatever that thing is.
Well, the thing is, look, keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real with you.
Are you on a speakerphone?
If you're gonna be a man and take your responsibility for yourself and stop blaming others.
Thank you, Tony. Good message.
Have a good day. I see y'all on January 20th. I guess y'all gonna blow up again.
Bye,
Have a
Tony.
Good day, y'all crazy. Bye, European.
What a mess. Dark Side of the Bear. What? Gave a diamond and said, Tony gives pot a bad name. Lord, what a beta. Thank you to Noah's Ark, Kansas, and you're welcome for the support, guys. Hot Computer Smell gave a super chat on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report and said, Biden's plan to appoint Tim Vilsack, Mr. Monsanto, to Secretary of the USDA. And I think the USDA is Department of Agriculture, United States Department of Agriculture. Monsanto has mixed reviews, to put it lightly. They have a whole lot of controversy about them. They're behind the GMOs in your food, genetically modified organisms, and but they're feeding the world. So I don't know. But I hear that GMOs are not necessarily good for you, and there are other issues with Monsanto. And Biden also appointed a bunch of like Facebook and Google people to his branch. And then what do Facebook do? And what do Google do? But go against our real President Trump. Art in Ohio wants to get in on this DC situation. Art, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm all right. How you doing, buddy?
Fine, thank you. It's good to hear from you.
Hey, well, good to hear from you once again. Or
Did you
whatnot.
hear Justice S say that you're her favorite caller?
I love her too, man. God bless. I was just, I wasn't trying to come down her, and I recognized how she was explaining her. Well, she wasn't trying to come down on me, meaning berate me. You know what I mean? Now, that's the same thing I wasn't trying to do to her. I was just making it known or whatnot that men are going to talk, and this is a man's form or a truth form or whatnot. And I'm just going with the fact that most of the people on here are dudes that's talking or whatnot, and we are the moral leaders.
Yeah.
Let alone in the Bible, it lets us know that we the leaders or whatnot. So I don't take kindly to a female coming in trying to tell you or whatnot that you need to watch what you saying when you ain't doing nothing wrong. And if you need to watch what you saying about stuff that you saying her, then you might as well not even say nothing about anything.
Yeah. Appreciate
long story
it,
short, yes, sir. And then with this lesson, I watched the whole little thing last night where they came back from that little recess because I'm talking about the politicians was so-called allegedly scared of the Trump protesters or whatnot, keyword protesters. And then when they came back from it or whatnot, they saying the one lady from Atlanta, Georgia, who was running with Trump, with her fake self, when they was Trump and her was standing on stage earlier in this week, she was all smiling in his face. Yeah, Trump this, Trump that. Then yesterday, when all this stuff was going on with the protest, she come in and say, well, my intentions was when I was coming up here to object to it, but since I seen the riots, I'm just going to not do it because I don't condone it. Honey, quit playing with us, sweetie.
Yeah.
You weren't going to you fake anyway, sweetie.
Yep.
You weren't going to eject. You weren't going to eject whether they was there protesting or whether there wasn't nobody there. You weren't going to eject anyway. So stop lying. And then another thing, it's so sad to see. I'm sitting thinking like, why ain't I been seeing no Republicans and a lot of these people coming up to the forefront and trying to stand up for Trump? And then when I see them all out there objecting to it, looking all weird and sold out, you can tell all of them are sold out. Long story short,
Kelly Loeffler is the woman from Georgia that you just mentioned. The phony, total phony, backstabber.
Shame on her.
Yeah,
and
you know
what, God.
Let me interrupt you briefly. There was somebody in the chat who said "et tu, brute," and that's a reference to, I think, Julius Caesar. One of his best friends and closest associates was Brutus. Julius Caesar and Brutus too was part of the group of senators who, I think they were senators, who backstabbed Julius Caesar, and they just stabbed him to death. And that's basically what these senators and maybe Pence, I don't know, the vice president, did to President Trump. And you know what's funny is there was a Julius Caesar Shakespeare in the Park performance put on by liberals in like Washington, D.C. or somewhere, or New York. And they portrayed Julius Caesar being dressed up, looking just like Trump and getting stabbed brutally. It's evil. So these people that seems like a psyop situation where they predict what's going to happen before it happens. Anyway. Anyway, go on.
How long after Jesus Christ got hung or whatnot did the kingdom of Julius Caesar last? My thing is this, and I'm just saying that or whatnot because I know you probably don't know, and I don't really know the exact dates how it is. But just when the governor or whatnot, when they brought the Pharisees brought Jesus to be hung in front of the governor, he had all the chances in the world to stop Jesus from getting hung and stop the mob of people and the Pharisees unjustly hanging Jesus, and the governor didn't stop it. And you see what happened to Rome or Caesar or whatnot.
Interesting point.
Yeah, well, guess what? America, God is good, and He always gives you a sign before the. It's always a calm before the storm, and He gave the American people and even these politicians, these governors, a chance to right their wrong, and they went they did wrong.
Yeah.
And America is done. And then back to these politicians, I wonder why I haven't been seeing a lot of y'all on here supporting Trump, because half of y'all look like y'all on freaking meth and crack and heroin. Or fentanyl, y'all getting from China.
Yeah.
Because how y'all in there acting, I mean, I'm from the streets, man. I mean, I ain't been in the streets in a long time, but I know what dope heads look like, and a lot of them politicians look like they on a lot more than alcohol.
Yeah.
A lot more than some pot.
That's
a lot
interesting.
more than some pot. So my thing is this, then another thing is, so once y'all, my thing is this, these politicians, y'all clearly have an objective to where y'all got to basically pay somebody off or y'all owe favors because this is clearly clear. How are they not understanding? I'm talking about the politician who was in there not objecting to this. When none of them compassionate about none of the people that was down there, that was coming down there because they feel like they were taken advantage of. American people, votes were taken advantage of, and the American people were scammed. So this whole time they're down there making it seem like the American people and the citizens don't have the right to be down there protesting when they do. The Constitution wasn't set up for it to be taken and ran by the politicians. It's for the people, but when you trying to switch that from the people, you can't sit there and say that they ain't supposed to be mad. And then how the hell did the woman get shot? Why are y'all females don't know how to sit back? I don't feel bad for you, sweetie, because God bless your little soul or whatnot. But I'm trying to figure out why every time something's going on, it's a female in the front of it. Then you get killed.
No,
you get killed.
Very true, man. I was thinking about that too with this woman who allegedly cried in the Senate, Tammy Duckworth. This is men's work. Tammy Duckworth is a senator, I think. She's a politician. She's in the Senate now. And she is a female who got her legs blown off or she had her legs amputated after getting her helicopter shut down. She was shot down. She was serving in the military, so-called. And she got her legs cut off, her arm badly scarred, put it that way. And then she's in the Senate crying, faking tears in this situation. This is not women's work. This protest stuff, especially the front lines, and the being in the Senate and the Congress. These people are weak, and most of the people who are resigning from the White House are women too, and then a female-minded male.
Turncoats.
Yeah.
Well, check this out. Look at the Ryan dude, Paul Ryan, or the independent dude, Paul. He was all up there, this is absurd, basically saying it's crazy, all this stuff. Well, what happened when you was at that little rally or whatnot, when Trump was running for this race coming up, and the damn Black Lives Matter and our Antifa was trying to jump you?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It didn't want Trump supporters that was doing that, let alone all y'all fake politicians that came in there, y'all all betas, and y'all ain't American patriots or whatnot. My thing is this, what happened with Portland and Houston and Chicago when they was down there tearing up in them places? Y'all didn't condemn that, and those dang sure wasn't American patriots. Those were people that was out there marching for illegitimate black people that was killed because the stuff that they brought on themselves. It really wasn't no reason for them to be down there marching. But then when you got people that are American citizens that feel like the election was stolen from them, we come down there and march for our rights try to keep our rights as American patriots, and you try to condemn us for doing something that's a God-given right when we know that y'all wrong. God bless you, Hake. I'm up out of here.
I appreciate you, Art. Take care, man. Very nice call. Scott Ashley Sexton gave a diamond and said, I banned myself from Facebook and Twitter. Touche. Yeah, a lot of people are abandoning Facebook and Twitter. I think people who are trying to put the word out, I think that we should still use them until they kick us off, if they kick us off. Just still use them, put the word out, because that's where the many people are, right? Many people who don't realize that they're being lied to or that they're believing lies and repeating lies, right? It's blind leaders of the blind. Like Jesse Lee Peterson said, blacks aren't getting the truth in their families because they all believe in racism, and then the fathers are not usually there. In their churches, because look at the typical black pastor. In their politicians, in their schools. And neither anymore are whites or anybody else in America, seemingly. So that's why half the country are suckers, right? Or maybe more. Let me get to Maze in Dayton, Ohio. She wants to comment on D.C. Yes, Maze. What's up, Maze? How are you doing?
I'm just fine, James.
Nice.
I'm wondering, y'all are missing the whole point.
What is that? What point is it?
In November, they had a protest in front of the Capitol. The people did the protest and left. They didn't try to go inside. They didn't try to break in there. They didn't try to do nothing. They just did the protest because they don't like what was happening. They did it and they left. So the ones yesterday...
Which people protested in November?
Find out who protested in November and you'll know.
Oh, come on. Tell us.
Since you always want to talk about what black people do,
Uh-huh.
the rural got to see what the Caucasians do. yesterday, you don't want to talk about it, but you always want to talk about what we do.
It wasn't very widespread. Let's just put it that way. It was a tiny minority.
And you got these ignorant black folks marching, right along with you. And you can't even stand them, but they right there on your side. And then that news.
If you didn't notice, Maze, we did talk about whites. We've been talking about whites.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
And
Maze.
the noose that they had hanging yesterday, who were they going to put in?
There was a noose? Oh, there was a guillotine. I know I saw a guillotine. And guillotines, a guillotine is where they chop the head off, right? That's the machine contraption that.
No, they had a noose. That was not a guillotine.
I didn't see the noose. I saw a guillotine. Whatever.
When they build well, what do you think
a noose or a guillotine are a symbol of execution. And in this context, I'm guessing it's for treason, right? Because people are saying that there's somebody committed treason. That's what I don't know anything about it, so that's I can only guess.
And y'all keep talking about Trump. Trump ain't gonna get none of them people that was up there out of jail. They gonna go to jail for him for being ignorant.
And they should.
Not knowing
if they did wrong.
Repeating what their grandfathers did, they gonna come get them. They got the picture.
I know, but actually, they're not going to get real justice. They're going to get disproportionate heavy hand
they deserve
because they're
because
white.
If you upset, we did 4 years with Trump. Ain't nobody go up there and try to mess up nothing because he was president.
Nice.
They let him be president for 4 years, and y'all don't want to let him.
Oh yeah, they let him. Okay. Yeah, okay, Mace.
He was there for 4 years.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Did you see anybody go in there trying to do it? No, they didn't.
They tried endlessly to take him out. They endlessly tried to take him out. To this day, they're trying to take him out.
When you hear these ignorant people, well, they voted him for 4 years. For 8 years, we heard people talk about Obama every day. Talked about Reverend Wright every day, all the time. Y'all ignorant to the fact that it's over.
Thank you, Mace. Nice talking with you. It's not over yet. It's not over.
The vote was over last night. It was over before.
It's not over. It's not over.
And the two Congress people that just went to the
nice talking with you, Mace.
Can't even respect their own house. That's pitiful.
All right.
You got the nerve to talk about black people.
Good talking.
Y'all today in the rural got to see what the Caucasians did. Not the first time they did it.
Maze hates white people.
And it's been done again. You can say what I hate.
As Joel Friday says, when Trump switches hands with Biden, then it's over. If and when that happens.
And
it's not over. It's not over. January 20th is when it's over.
I mean,
allegedly.
why did they have bombs and stuff to harm people?
One cannot predict the future.
Yes,
anyway.
The future is predicted. Why did they have pipe bombs James yesterday? Unless they weren't going down.
I don't know. That's nuts. Some people are almost as mentally ill as you.
That's right. You got some mentally ill
that might be
in the chat room, and you got some mentally ill with you. And just I'm gonna take
back
a picture
at
and hang it on I'm gonna hang it up so people can see that news that was out there. Biggest day, 2021, that they used to do. Back in the day, you said that's history, and don't talk about it. And then
you can talk about it.
The
nooses were for crimes.
He upset about some statues.
All right.
We didn't put them statues up there, and we're not the people that are taking them down. Tell them to get mad with the people that are taking them down.
All right.
And put the vice president in danger too. Now, how ironic.
She's like talking a million miles an hour. Motormouth Maze. What do you think about being called Motormouth Maze?
Well, whoever calling me Motormouth Maze, that's not my name. It's M-A-Z-E. And
I know, but you're a motormouth.
Address me to who I am and by my name. If you don't, you're talking to yourself.
It's not who you are, it's what you are, and you're a motormouth.
I am a person that's free, and I know I'm free. And the man about to have a heart attack this morning. He about to have a heart attack because it's so racist in Hake so much. He's about to have a heart attack on the phone talking.
I don't know how you get. Are you talking about? Are you talking? Hold on, Maze. Hold on.
What?
Are you talking about the great Rick from Maine?
No, the one that hung up. You said he must have went on mute.
Yeah, that was Rick from Maine.
Well, he's about to have a heart attack.
And you imagined racism inside of him because he's white?
You can hear it in him. James, you won't like he's constipated when he's talking to you. But
how did you pick? How do you figure racism in him?
As your Christian people say.
How do you figure racism in him, Maze?
You can hear it in him.
You can hear what in him?
Going back to slavery. Who do he think gonna sit back and let them put him in slavery? He had to have been stupid for that to come out of his mouth. But what I'm saying, James,
so you just imagine that. You just made it completely up.
Christian people, to the people
typical black, typical black. Just he's racist.
Can I get my last word? I'm gonna say it like this. For the
any white man who expresses any anger, he's racist.
For the heathens and those that think they pretend to like God, he did this. So get upset with him and not with us. I'm going to leave it that way.
You're encouraging heathens to get angry with God. Okay, Maze.
I mean, I say get upset with him because he did this.
Okay, get upset with God,
y'all can't even take the work that he's putting before your eyes. That's your problem.
You have a good day.
So what we saw yesterday, you need to have a good day about it and stop trying to act like it didn't happen.
You have a good day.
What the Caucasians did yesterday, and you have a good one.
Anyway, what a mess. Let me get to Stephen in Delaware. He wants to comment on D.C. do I feel different about Trump too. Steven, what's up?
Hey, Hake, what's up? How are you been?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing good. I wanted to ask you if your thoughts on have Trump have changed after what we've seen yesterday.
No, I still think that he's fighting for us, fighting for what's right. He's doing the best he can. It's right on to him. How about you?
Okay, so I'm a little bit disappointed with Trump with yesterday because he had all these people that went there to support, to support the whole election thing, and then we had the girl that ended up getting shot, right?
Yeah.
Had the girl end up getting shot. So people obviously would be in an uproar about that. Yet he told everyone to go home. We came here to support you, but everyone go home. I think at that point. That
was not until about 4 Eastern.
What? Oh. Well, when he said that?
Yeah. It was towards the end of the day.
Yeah, but my thing is, like, somebody got shot, though. Somebody got shot.
Right.
And he was saying for people, he's like, it's okay, the election was stolen. Just go home. Like, that's not creating any change by saying people just go home. I understand not trying to incite any type of, any type of mischief going on down there, but there should have been a lot more that should have happened there than what we've seen.
What did you want Trump to? What would you have wanted or expected President Trump? What should he have said to the people other than to go home? What can they do about the woman getting shot?
No. What I'm saying is that there is. What I'm saying is that. He was saying that, they stole the election, just go home. What I was saying is that based on if they went up, people were upset about the election being stolen.
Yeah.
Then at that point, why would we just go home and just like, they stole the election, just go home when we clearly should be upset that this has happened. I mean, this is an injustice that's happened in our country,
But eventually,
yesterday,
each day, eventually you have to like go home. I mean, it's cold outside and there's violence going on. I think the best thing was to go home. I don't. Did you have qualms about Trump beforehand? Before this?
Well, you know what? I guess I'm just like, it might not be just Trump. It might be. I think it's just I'm disappointed by the situation because I felt like it should have been. They should have turned up more than they actually did to make. You know what I'm saying?
The government
did more.
The people in the government should have done more.
The people that were out there at the rally.
Oh, but there were tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people out there. What do you mean? You want more people out there?
Well, I just expected
or to
people
stay
to be
out
more
there all
upset
night?
with what. No, I expected people to be more upset, more outraged based on that girl dying than what happened. Like people just kind of just went home, went on their merry way. I just expect. I'm not saying to be like
life goes on
out of it, like Black Lives Matter, but
how many brothers fell victim to the streets? Rest in peace. Young Edward, there's a heaven full of thieves.
But the thing with it is that we just have to realize that it's a system that we're fighting for. It's not Trump. It's not Trump.
We still have.
Him.
I think it's okay to go home that day. We do have to keep fighting for what's right in the right way, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, man. But let's talk again. We can talk more another day, man. Appreciate your call.
Yeah.
It is. I do sense the injustice as well, for sure. He hung up. London, a first-time caller from Ocean Beach, California. What's up, London? Are you there? London. Okay, hang on. London may have me on mute or something. I'll have Nick check on her. Let me get to KT out of Washington, D.C. What's up, KT? How are you doing?
Hey, what's going on, Hake? Long time no speak. Glad to speak to you. Looks like time is running out, so I'm just going to be quick here. I totally agree with Joel and his his take on this whole D.C. situation, and and also
and
another
Joel's
thing
take is he should have condemned the violence of the riots.
I mean, just the whole
and be fair
whole thing
about both sides, like Black Lives Matter riots, it's wrong. The Trump supporters allegedly riot, and that's wrong.
Right. I mean, just generally, I disagree with his take on the whole situation. And I got to say, conservatives, majority of conservatives and majority of liberals are just the same. It's just different sides of the same coin.
Explain
the only
in
difference,
brief. Yeah, go on.
The only difference is the difference in ideology. They're the same in that they all operate, most of them operate with anger and hate.
Right.
And a lot of people will say, oh, the Founding Fathers did the same thing. No, the Founding Fathers were righteous men. Those were righteous men. They were good, righteous men, and that's why they were able to accomplish what they accomplished.
And you know what? Yeah, we don't even know what exactly the Founding Fathers did or what's like or what they were like. So it's like it's delusional to say, "Oh, I'm just like how the Founding Fathers were," because you don't know. And so you're right, and that's why conservatives lose, because conservatives, angry conservatives, eventually, by hook or by crook, the liberals win because they're better at being evil.
They're very well organized, and here's the thing: people underestimate the level of organization that the devil has. The devil is very organized, and people underestimate that. So people need to keep an eye out on that. And the thing is, here's my last point. What was I going to say? I'm having a blank here.
Did you go to the D.C. protest?
Oh, absolutely not. Oh, there you go. Great. You just reminded me of what I was going to say. I stopped going to this protest. I used to go. I mean, I live close to the D.C. area,
right?
And I used to go to all this protest, and I just had to stop because I noticed that there was a lot of just hate and anger just going on. And, I was like, you know what? And my last straw was this one protest I went to, and people were cheering on these homosexuals. They had these homosexuals up on stage. Oh, I'm gay and conservative, blah, blah, blah. And people were just cheering in the crowd. I was like, you know what? I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I'm not going back to this. Protest
I think that was wise, KT. You might have been wise to stay away from that situation.
Exactly. And just like Nick said, what was accomplished? Nothing was accomplished.
Only evil. Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
interesting, man. I thought of
you
you too yesterday because you know how a lot of conservatives are really fed up and disillusioned with police, and you said that you're no longer going to support the police because of them violating the rights of people with these shutdowns and mask mandates and ridiculous stuff. And then when there's something else going on where they're violating the normal people's rights, they're nowhere to be found. So I thought of you because of this frustration towards the police that we saw yesterday. And like you said, that was a case of anger. I don't know about you personally, but that was a case where they're punching the cops and the cops punching them. What a mess. In some cases, the cops were over-aggressive, and in some cases, the so-called protesters were. Man, I appreciate it, KT.
All right. Thanks, Hake. Great show, man. Keep up the great work.
All right. Thank you. Take care. So, guys, I'm sorry, Dana, London. Oh, London got through again. Alyssa and Tyler. Tyler from San Francisco. Alyssa from Long Island, New York. London from Ocean Beach, California, and Dana from South Dakota. London knew Ashley Babbitt. I'm sorry I cannot get to you guys. Call me tomorrow if you can. We're live Monday through Friday, 9 to 11, or Jesse Lee Peterson, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9. Thank you, guys. And thehakereport.com for my stuff. JesseLeePeterson.com for Jesse's stuff. RebuildingTheMan.com/church and RebuildingTheMan.com/events for the men's forum. For guys only tonight at 7 p.m. Thanks, guys. Take care.